Hi everyone. This is the sixth session with respect to a subject, management and entrepreneurship. In the first three sessions, I gave a brief introduction with respect to what actually the subject is, what you can expect with respect to the subject, what are all the things you can adapt into your life as well as into your career by learning this particular subject. So these were all the things we learned in the first three sessions. And also in the third session, I gave some brief introduction with respect to the syllabus. In fourth and fifth session, we covered some topics in detail with respect to the syllabus. So in the fourth session, I covered topic on functions of management. And in the fifth session, I covered topic on roles of a manager, and also I cover different levels of management. So in this particular session, we will be covering one more important topic from exam point of view, which is managerial skills. So as a manager of an organization or of any particular company, what are all the different types of skills that particular manager should possess? So if he's having those set of major skills, then the chances of that particular manager getting succeeded will be very much high. So now we shall look into the different skills that are needed for a manager in any organization. The first and foremost important skill for a manager is conceptual skill. These skills, as I had already explained with respect to these skills in the previous presentation session. So in this particular presentation session, we shall go in detail with respect to each and every skill. So the first major skill of a manager is conceptual skill. What do you mean by conceptual skill? Your manager, particularly if the manager is found at top level of the management. So basically there are three levels of management, which I had explained in the previous presentation session. So if your manager is found at the top level of management, then that particular top level manager needs to have this major skill, which is called as conceptual skill. So conceptual skill refers to the ability of a manager to take a futuristic view, or I can say a broad, far-sighted view of his organization. What the organization might look like in the future. What are all the things the particular organization needs to achieve in the future. So these are all the things which comes under the conceptual skills category. You should be in a position to make some analysis in abstract manner. You won't be having any facts, you won't be having any concrete data. So in abstract manner, you should be making some decision with respect to the organization in future. What might happen to the organization? What might be the changes he needs to take today so that his organization will be in a better position tomorrow? So that means he needs to innovate something new. He needs to be creative enough. He needs to assess the current environment and also the changes which are taking in current market and environment. So based upon the assessment, he can make the necessary innovations and creations. So once he makes the necessary innovation and creations, definitely he will have a positive foresighted view with respect to his organization in the future. So this is the first skill that is mainly needed for a manager, especially if the manager is at the top level of management. The first skill is conceptual skill. And the next skill for a manager is technical skills. This type of skill is mainly important for a manager who is found at the lower level. So especially if the manager is found at the supervisory level, who is nearer to the implementation section, then such a manager needs to have this particular type of skill. That skill is called as technical skills. So what actually comes under technical skills? A manager should be very much proficient in his subject expertise. That means he needs to implement the concepts in an effective manner. So person's knowledge and proficiency should be very much high. So here he need not be having the conceptual skill, but the technical aspect should be very much high. So the person's knowledge and proficiency in any process or in any technique should be very much high. This type of skill or competence will be more important at lower level of management. As we keep moving to higher levels of management, this technical skills aspect keeps on diminishing, because top level management people don't need this particular type of skill called as technical skills. They should have the skill called as conceptual skill. So these are the first two types of skill. And the next major skill is called as human relational skills. As the name itself suggests, how a particular manager is going to maintain his rapport, is going to maintain his interaction, is going to maintain his communication with his employees. That plays a major role, because how properly you will communicate your information to your subordinates, how properly you will interact with your subordinates, that plays a major role. So human relation skill is the ability of a manager to interact effectively with people at all levels. So whenever a manager has this type of skills, then the manager will be in a position to recognize the feelings of his employees. So once he can recognize the feeling of his employees, then he can make sure that he can take the necessary steps in order to solve any of the problem with respect to any employees. So this is the skill aspect when it is concerned with human interactions. And also, if there are any outcomes, or if there are any reactions that is happening in an organization, then the manager will be in a better position to take some various courses of actions. And also, you will be in a position to examine his own concept. Human relation doesn't mean that that needs to be with another individual. Human relation is also concerned with the same individual. How is actually behaving, what are all the limitations he is possessing, what are all the mistakes he are making. So if he can examine his own mistakes, if he can examine his own concepts, then he can make the necessary changes and he can develop a positive attitude. So these are all the human relation skills which is needed for all levels of management. It is needed for top level management, middle level management, as well as supervisory level management. As you can see in the diagram, there are three major levels of management: top, middle, and supervisory level, which is also called as low level of management. And there are three major skills: conceptual, human relational, and technical skills. So as we see in the diagram, the conceptual skills is mainly concentrated at top level management. As we come down, the conceptual skill is diminished at the lower level of management, where human relational skills is equal at all levels of management. So this type of skills is needed at all levels of management, whereas technical skills is mainly concentrated in the lower level of management, and it diminishes as we move on to top level of management. So this is what has been explained here. So, and also it will be easier for people to move from one organization to another organization if they are at the top level of management. Why? In the sense, because they don't need to acquire any new technical skills. So they need only the conceptual skills. That will be the same in almost all of the organizations. So that's why if you are very good at the conceptual skills, they can easily jump upon, or they can easily move to a new organization or a new company. But that won't be the case with respect to lower level management people, because when you switch to another organization, then you need to learn some new technical skills. So that won't be the case with respect to top level management people. So these are the three major managerial skills a manager should possess: conceptual skill, the technical skill, the human relational skills. And also various levels of management demands various set of skills, as shown in the below diagram. So the next topic for this particular presentation session will be management and administration. So are there any differences between these two terms which are called as management and administration? ಇದೆರಡು terms ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು differences ಇದೆಯಾ? Otherwise, are they providing the same explanation? Are they providing the same meaning? The answer to this particular question is that there are some differences with respect to management and administration. This is also an important question from exam point of view. Your functions of management is important. Your levels of management is important. The roles of a manager is an important question. The skills of a manager is an important question. Management and administration is also an important question from exam point of view. So far, the topics we have covered are very much important from exam point of view. In future also, if I am covering any topics which are important from exam point of view, then I will mention those particular topics so that it will be easier for you people. So as I had already told, management and administration are bit different. They are not one at the same. There are some differences between these two terms which are called as management and administration. And also almost all the writers and all the thinkers, they also think that there are some differences between these two terms called as management and administration. So what are all the differences between management and administration? That can be summarized with three different views. So there are three different views. We shall look into each of the view and we shall see what are the differences between management and administration. According to the first group of writers, Sheridan and Spriggle and Millward, they thought that administration involves thinking. That means you will be it is somewhat like a top level function. You will be making some plans, you will be making some policies, you will be setting the goals for an organization, you will be setting the objectives for an organization. So it involves thinking, because whenever you are making some goals, whenever you're making some plans, you need to collect information, then you need to make all those related plans, policies as well as goals. So according to their view, they think that your administration is an activity which involves thinking, and also this type of activity is mainly present in top level management. That's why it can also be called as a top level function. This type of activity is mainly concerned with determination of plans, policies, and objectives. Whereas your management is the opposite of administration. That means it is doing, or I can say it is implementation. So what are all the plans which has been set up, or what are all the policies, or what are all the objectives which has been already set up, that needs to be implemented. So your implementation will take place at the lower level of management. So it is concerned with the execution of the plans and policies, or I can say how the operations of these plans and policies can take place. So your administration involves setting up of plans and policies, whereas your management involves implementation of those plans and policies. So your manager should perform both the activities. So if the manager is found at top level management, then is doing administration activity. If the manager is found at lower level of management, then is doing management activity. So this is the differences with respect to the first group of writers, Sheridan, Spriggle, and Millward. So according to second view, EFL, Brecht, and others, they had some different opinion with respect to management and administration. They thought that management is a comprehensive term. Under that management, you will be getting one more topic called as administration. So manager is an umbrella. So under that umbrella, we are having administration. So or I can say manager is a branch of management. Administration is a branch of management which mainly comprises of two activities, planning and control. That's what, right? So in the previous view, we saw that how administration involves making plans, policies, and objectives. That's why administration can be called as a branch of management which mainly deals with planning and controlling. So the other two functions of management, that is organizing and directing, they comes under operative management. So right, I can say there are four major functions. So according to this view, there are four major functions of management which are planning, control, organizing, and directing. Planning and control comes under the category of administration, whereas organizing and directing comes under the category of operative management or simply under management. So this is the second view where we say that your administration is a branch of management. Under an umbrella called as management, there is one more topic called as administration. So according to the last view, as expressed by Peter Drucker, he says that the basic difference between management and administration lies in where we are using those terms. So it depends upon in which particular enterprise we are performing those terms. So if you are performing management in government or in any public related institution, or I can say non-business related institution where you are not performing any business to gain profits, in such a case